Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever Return of Rome game cast for the Iron Kaiser gaming channel. Return of Rome has just come out, and we've got a lot of people excited to try it. And I have just so happened to stumble across a very well-known player in the community, Survivalist, in the blue, playing as the Babylonians, versus his opponent in the red, Deontay for Life, playing as the Shang. This should be a very interesting matchup. Let's go back over to Survivalist really quick. So he's playing as the Babylonians, and in Age of Empires 1, which is what the Return of Rome mode is all about. It's a recreation of AoE 1 in the AoE 2 engine. We have to recognize that you don't have unique units, you don't have unique techs. It is a very different kind of game. There's a different sort of meta to it. You don't even start the game with a scout. And Survival is doing a very good job of working with the typical build order. You start off with 6 villagers on berry bushes. Moving over to, I believe it's going to be 4 vills on wood. I just want to make sure that I'm not... he's got 3 on wood right now. And interesting, moving over to build a house out near the deer. Perchance he knows something I don't. Maybe you only go 3 on wood. Oh, there's a 4th on wood right there. I bet you he goes to lure in the gazelle here with this vill. Yep, sure enough. Moving them toward the town center. Let's take a look really quickly at our civilization matchup as I move back over to Magma and we see how well he's doing on things. An artifact right out of the gate. The Shang in the red. Did I say Macedonians? The Shang in the red. They're an economic and cavalry civilization. Their villagers cost 40 food instead of 50 food. They do start the game with 40 less food, but that is still a really significant long-term bonus that would make them amazing for booming. And in AoE 1, or in the Return of Rome, this civilization is really good for booming because the game is really good for booming because town centers don't cost stone. So as long as you've got the wood, you can throw down more and more TCs, and that means your economy can skyrocket if it's allowed to. So the fact that for the Shang, vills cost less wood, that's huge. Start the game with 40 less food. Walls have 60% more HP, and then the cavalry line attacks 10% faster. Also, you get a little bit more extra population space from your TCs, which is pretty nice, and further encourages you to, pump out a lot of town centers. Meanwhile, Survivalist in the blue. Babylonians, they're a defensive civilization. Stone miners work 20% faster and carry more stone. Market technologies cost 30% less. And when they say market techs, again, that's very different from Age of Empires 2. The market in AoE 1, the market in the Return of Rome mode, is the building that contains most/all of the economic research technologies. So things like, your what we AoE 2 fans would think of as double bit axe, or I forget if wheelbarrow, quote unquote, would be in there. But, your farm upgrades, your lumberjack upgrades, your stone mining upgrades, gold mining upgrades, all of that. That's all found in the market. So all of your eco-techs, essentially, are 30% cheaper. Your walls and your towers have plus 60% hit points, which is interesting because the Shang also have that bonus, right? Yeah, walls, 60% HP. Walls and towers, 60% HP. So a similar but stronger bonus for Babylonians, or at least a wider bonus, a more versatile bonus. Priest rejuvenate 30% faster. Whoa. And then chariots gain +1 pierce armor, which may not matter as much if the Shang predictably go with cavalry, but we'll see. Survivalist getting housed, which I think is very easy for an Age of Empires 2 player to do even a one as good as Survivalist, because in Age of Empires 1, in the Return of Rome mode, houses only provide 4 population space, not 5. And so it's very easy for those houses to kind of throw off your timings, you know, what you're used to. One of the things that's interesting, this is a little minor bug fix that needs to come in, is, we'll see, we are watching Survivalist versus Deontay for life, but in the bottom left-hand corner, when I need to switch between players, it actually gives me 2 players who I looked at in a previous game. I clicked onto their game for half a second before I had to leave it, and I'm seeing those 2 players in the bottom left, rather than the 2 players we're watching, so I'm sure that's something that they will fix quickly. But, Deontay for life, the first player to hit the tool age. Both players are doing similarly well as far as population counts go and bill counts. Shang, predictably, doing a little bit better because of the cheaper bills. Rogan. One of the other things that's very different from Return of Rome versus Age of Empires 2 is that in AoE 2, once you hit the feudal age, you need to start diversifying your economy. You need to start, gathering gold, because you're going to want to either build archers, or eventually you need to tech up to the castle age, and that requires gold. Well, to go up from the tool age to the bronze age, which we actually see Deontay doing right now, you only require food. So to go from age 1 to age 2, only food. From age 2 to age 3, only food. So it's not until you hit the 3rd age that you really need to start worrying about gold. Now, I'm not sure. There may be certain strategies where you might want to go to gold anyway, but as far as aging up, not necessary. Both players on their way to the 3rd age. That doesn't surprise me that they're doing this kind of, I guess we'll call it a fast bronze strategy, because, again, you're behind walls. A rush really isn't going to do a lot for you. This is an arena match that we're watching here. Let's turn off Fog of War. Babylon going double archery ranges up against Shang. Let's put down an archery range. The government center is required in order to build more town centers. So I bet you that goes up, and we see immediately, I'm going to predict at least 2 town centers. 2 additional TCs. There's one. Come on, come on. Don't disappoint me. Where's that other TC? There's no way you're only building 1 TC. I don't believe it. I refuse to believe you do not have a 2nd town center, or I should say a 3rd. You got 1 up. There it is. There it is. 3 TCs. 1, 2, 3. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 4th go up. But maybe he just stays on 3 for now. Now, I accidentally had it on Survivalist's point of view. Babylon picking up the wheel. The wheel will allow chariots, which Babylon gets the extra pierce armor on their chariots. Not a bad pickup. And we also have, I think it's called wood cutting. This is an improvement for the lumberjacks. A town center going up for Babylon. Let's see. Yeah, just the 2 right now. This is interesting. Right now, I'm feeling like we've got 37 vills for Survivalist. We have 48 vills for Deontay. Survivalist either needs to play catch-up, or he needs to strike while the iron is hot. And he's got to come up with some kind of aggressive game plan. Now, I will say this, he has picked up... Is that all of the artifacts? He's built ruins. Or ruins something you find on the map. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Interesting. We have one clubman. It's kind of the militia of the game here. Deontay choosing to wall up rather than engage him. Chariot archers. Now wait a minute. Let's go back to Babylon. It says chariots gain +1 pierce armor. Would that include chariot archers? I believe it does. Looking at the 0+1 there. I bet it does. Wait a minute, this is... How many town centers is that? That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 TCs. Here comes a 7th TC for the Shang. This is just the name of the game, it looks like to me. In a closed map AoE 1 battlefield. Being able to throw down all of these town centers and just churn out waves of vills. I can see this snowballing really heavily for the Shang. Survivalist on 66 vills compared to Deontay's 79. Now I guess conversely, it's so easy to get villagers up that maybe these... Yeah, he's on 2 town centers. He's gonna stay on 2. But maybe it's so easy to get TCs up and get vills up that it's not as impressive when you're up by 10 vills. Because it doesn't take a lot to just throw down 10 town centers. Catch those numbers up really fast. Huh. I'm really surprised we don't see... Whoa. A stone thrower is out. And that's doing about 40 something, 40 give or take. Yeah, I want to say something like 38 damage per shot there. Why is he prioritizing the market, I wonder? One thing to be aware of, if Babylon breaks through the walls, which would be an ironic reversal of history, but if Babylon breaks through the walls, one thing you've got to remember is that town centers do not fire arrows when garrisoned, as they do in Age of Empires 2, and that means if these chariots break in, they get into the economy, if there is not an army to stop them, then it's only a matter of time before the TCs go down, all the vills within are destroyed. Here we go, and chariots are in. Where is the army from the Shang? Gold miners. I see 88. Here we go. 126 vills. That's a lot of vills. But that's only 135 pop. Where is everything else? Stone thrower. Okay, well, I'm glad you got a stone thrower, but what about army? Oof. Yeah, this is one of the classic Age of Empires situations you can find yourself in where you focus so heavily into booming. Here we go. Here's something. We have 5 cavalry units, but they've only got 1 pierce armor. I don't see Sumeria losing this fight, right? 5 knights versus... How many chariot archers is that? 17. Huh. You know, I gotta give Deontay huge credit here. I figured he was done for. I thought there was no way that you know, you could turn this around. I was in the middle of, you know, moralizing about how important it is to actually have an army up to defend and the dangers of over booming. And Deontay, the first up to the Iron Age, and he has pushed back this raid. Now, yes, Survivalist does have more points on the board, but I don't know that those points reflect the reality of the situation. 128 vills for Deontay versus 100 even for Survivalist. He's picking up, I think he just picked up Nobility, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Nobility research complete. That gives his cavalry additional HP. In Return of Rome, the blacksmith, and I use that in air quotes, but the parallel to the blacksmith, does not work the same way as it does in Age of Empires 2. You only can improve melee armor for your different units at the quote-unquote blacksmith. You know, you can't really improve your pierce armor at all. So here, he's upgraded to heavy cavalry. So he's got 2 pierce armor as a consequence of having heavy cav, and that's it. If I were him, could he take this fight? Let's see. He has 12 heavy cav versus 31 cav archers. I don't know. I mean, I think right now he's got pierce armor. Extra pierce armor that Survivalist does not have. And he earlier won an engagement on similar numbers. But maybe he wants to fight on his own turf. There are these ruins that are still out here, and Survivalists has claimed the center of the map. I've really focused in so much on Shang's base, I haven't talked about this. Barracks are up, archer ranges are up. There is an industry behind this fight that might give Survivalists an edge, even if he loses this particular battle. Oh, and the use of the choke point is disgusting. Yes, yes, yes. This is what I was concerned about. And I think I'll go back to my earlier point, as we see Survivalists pushing through, is that even though he ended up getting up enough cav to stop the initial push and Survivalist wasn't able to win the game right there, it was true that, you know, I think because he didn't have up enough of an army and he went so far on the economic side of things, he gave up the center. And that gave Survivalist a base of operations and the ability to sort of reinforce his army and gather more resources that Deontay would need to survive. Conversion off for Babylon. Shang are in trouble. Deontay for life calls the GG, and that is a game. My hat is off to Deontay. I don't know how skilled Deontay is. I mean, Survivalist is a very good player. In the Return of Rome, we don't have, currently anyway, we don't have matchmaking. So these are 2 players who decided to get together on the lobby and start up a game. So my hat is off to the loser. Deontay did well here. I certainly recognize the economic strengths of the Shang, but Survivalist really using the chariots, those Babylonian, I want to say special units, not unique units, but Babylonian chariots with the extra pierce armor to great effect to just provide destructive, overwhelming pressure on his opponent. Very well done. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, let me know if you want to see more Return of Rome. For now, this is the Iron Kaiser, signing off.